Katie, this is one of your properties?
Yes, it is.
Tenants created a bit of a drama.
Yes.
Do you want to explain what happened?
They f***ed it. My tenant has completely ruined and destroyed this house, which was perfectly brand new and refurbished when they moved in. This is my beautiful mistake that I'm about to make £70,000 net profit on. And I'm going to take you inside and show you exactly how you can do that. I'm Katie Wilson and I am a property trader.
I'm George Scott and I'm a property investor.
So this property came about from a motivated seller who had a bad tenant at the time. Should have learnt my lesson then. But what happened was I managed to agree this deal. Now this, for those of you who follow me on social media, is my drug den. So when I went to view this property for the first time ever, I found tens of thousands of pounds worth of drugs in the house. Now don't worry, drugs were not included in this deal, and that is not what makes this a great deal. The numbers speak for themselves. So I've not been in this property for over a year now. I've been told it's a wreck. Who knows what we're about to see, but let's go in and have a look.
But before we head inside, like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Ready?
Yes, as ready as I'll ever be. So we've got some posts. Oh, smells like someone's been smoking something in here. I'll just leave the lights on. So they've left the furniture, the sofas were not included.
Oh, bloody hell. Look at this. Brand new carpet last time you saw it.
For f***'s sake, garden's been cared for. Not. We're going to the kitchen. Oh, okay. So it's not as bad as I thought, but they have wrecked the floor. That is well and truly ruined. I don't even know if I dare go upstairs.
I feel like I want to go first in case there's any intruders. Oh, you're gonna love this. Carpet's got to come up, Kate.
It's fine, it'll clean out. Okay, so it's not too bad in here. It's scuffed, it's got marks on the carpet, but on the whole it's not vandalised. So that's a good start. But they have obviously left crap everywhere because they're, you know, considerate tenants.
Love what they do on the toilet seat.
But oh, we've acquired a mirror. Always a winner. Okay, so we've got bedding. Nice touch. I'm gonna step over that. We're gonna go into the master bedroom now. Oh, they've left the lights on. Oh, we've acquired a curtain rail that is on the piss.
Maybe they didn't even stay in this one because it's the least affected, isn't it?
It must have, because there's a bed mark there, look.
But we are getting high for the longer we stand in this house from the legacy fumes. Right, so they left in a hurry. They've left you a mattress. Right, no tragic damage. How you feeling, Katie?
Pretty shit, to be fair. I just want to smash the faces in, if I'm perfectly honest.
Okay, just fag butts just discarded on the carpet, for f***'s sake. Like, seriously, look how many there is.
I don't want to know, I can't count.
Absolutely no respect.
He's forgot his trousers.
Well, those 3 trousers, George.
I'm going to wrap around his neck.
I'm good for trousers that are discarded. Bloody hell.
Katie, out of 10, how bad is this property right now?
It's pretty bad considering the condition it was in when they took it on. So I'd say it's probably about a 5. It could be worse, it could be a lot worse. There's no malicious damage, it's just neglect, other than the cigarettes everywhere. So they've been smoking in a house they can't smoke in. Obviously they've not paid rent for 2 months, so they're just the type of demographic that just don't care. Unfortunately, those people exist, and especially in areas like this. So admittedly, this is a beautiful house, and it was a great deal and the numbers are fantastic, but it's in a rough area. It's reasonably rough. I'm surprised my car is still sat outside, if I'm being honest.
It just angers me because there's a certain level of disrespect, complete lack of respect. Whether or not you own the property or you're renting the property, in what world do we live in where you're smoking cigarettes and just flicking the butts on the floor? I can't wrap my head around it. It's pissing me off.
So before I talk about the numbers for this deal, be sure to download our free report.
So that report that Katie's mentioned previously, I've just read through it during lunch. It's top quality. If you're serious about educating yourself in property, you're going to want to download this. Pinned to the description in the comments down below, get hold of this report, you're going to love it.
So the day I got the keys for this property was a really exciting day for me because I'd finally got rid of the last bad tenant from this property, which wasn't my tenant, it was the previous owner's tenant. So we were really excited to get in and do the refurb. The refurb team that I use We have got a great relationship. So it was fun to do the refurb. Not that I do a lot, I sort of oversee it. I just appear probably once a month to check on what's going on. We did a substantial refurb on this property, new kitchen, bathroom, carpets, paint, everything. We've had new doors, new windows. So we did pretty much everything that the property needed. And it was finished to a really, really nice standard before the tenants moved in. So it was picture perfect. Now, just to be clear, when we refurbished this property, we didn't want it to be a palace. It was always going to be, take it to an average condition, which is safe, clean, a nice warm environment for a family to live in. And that's what we tried to create. Unfortunately, we got the wrong tenants in, and this is a result of what's happened.
Tenants moved in, no issues, and then all of a sudden they stopped paying rent.
As a result of that, it obviously makes any landlord nervous, because you can do all the checks in the world to make sure a tenant is a good tenant. And I, as a professional trained property investor, know exactly what should happen in order to get the right tenant to live in my properties. However, there was a lapse in that situation. Unfortunately, I lent on a letting agent who didn't perform the checks that I requested them to. And we ended up with a tenant that at the beginning seemed fine, then they stopped paying rent. And then as a result, we had to start taking action because they continued to not pay rent from that point. So a number of months had gone by. 2 months went by where we knew that the second month it was going to be a problem. So then we started to take action to tell the tenants that if they didn't pay rent, then legal action would be taken. As a result of that, they then disappeared. So I'm very lucky in the fact that I haven't had to take them to court and get bailiffs in. They have vacated the property, although be it we're sat on their old sofa right now, hence the reason I'm sat on some cardboard, if you can't see that, because they've left a load of stuff. So the property is now going to need a mini refurb again to take it back up to a standard to be able to put another tenant in. However, do I want to do that? That's the question. So I bought this property for £85,000. Now at the time, it was probably worth about £110,000. I've spent £30,000 on the refurb to bring it up to a decent standard. And my assumption was, full admission, it was probably after refurb going to be worth about £150,000. However, I then checked the market because I know the market in the area. And actually, these properties are selling for over £200,000. Only just over, but still over. Now, this is a semi-detached house. You can't see that from this video, but it is a semi-detached house. And actually, next door has just sold for £200,000. We know that if we put this property on the market for £180,000, potentially we may get offers higher than that. But actually, if we got around 180, I would make between £55,000 and £60,000 net profit before tax, which actually is a beautiful mistake, because even if you're trying to do a flip and make £60,000 net profit before tax, that is an insane profit. So the plan was always to buy this, refurbish it, refinance it, keep it and hold it for life and rent it. But actually, to take this property to the market and get even 180 means that I'm making a fantastic window of profit. If I sell it for 200, that's even more profit. Now I could take it to market, do it up and put it on the market for rental, where it'll probably make me about 900, 950 a month rent. There is no lending on this property at present, so that would be pretty much most of that in my pocket. But actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut, I would say losses, but it's not a loss, it's a great gain, and I'm going to go and buy some more houses where all my other houses are in my specific area that I invest in.
So you're going to sell it in the condition it is now. Have you considered doing the mini refurb and a mega clean before putting it onto the market?
For me, I could invest money in making this house perfect and get an offer very similar to what Next Door have had of £200,000 when Next Door is lovely. But in reality, with property in demand as much as it is right now, I'm happy to take 180 for it. But actually, if we put it on for 180, I've got a very strong feeling that people are going to be bidding for this property. And you've also got to remember, there's people who are disappointed because they've had a bidding war next door. So this is the perfect storm, because now I know that those people are potentially going to look at this one and go, we missed out on the last one, I'm more than happy to pay. So people are going to be bidding. Investors are going to look at this property and want to buy it, plus people who want to live in it. So we're going to have a bidding war.
You'll have to put in the comments once it sells what it goes for.
Absolutely. I've learned that as an educated property investor and deal packager, that always buying at the right price is the single most important thing you can do when investing in property. Because then even if you're buying a single buy to let and it goes wrong, you either hopefully break even and don't lose money, but to make £60,000 as a profit, that's pretty good going. That is the key, the price you buy at.
So I just think this highlights that the ability to identify and secure and agree a deal at discount is crucial. That's where the magic happens. Anyone can go out and buy a house, enter a bidding war and pay for the asking price. But on this one, Katie's negotiated and she's identified a sufficient circumstance that enables her to buy at discount. So yes, this property, you'll admit yourself, it didn't work. But because there's that much profit in the deal, she's able to exit the deal, quids in. Your YouTube videos, they attract a lot of attention. People like to jump in the comments and throw their opinions in.
Absolutely.
What would you say to someone that accuses you of just palming this problem property off on somebody else?
So I would say the problem is not the property. Potentially the area is not the best for trying to make profit. However, it doesn't mean that the area is not great for people to live in. So what I mean by that is there are people who are local to this area that want to live in this area because mum lives down the street or dad or whatever. They've been raised here, they've gone to school here. So they're never necessarily going to want to leave the area. Now, people may want to buy this as a first-time home. I know next door, they're a great couple and they've lived there for 10 years. So they're selling now because probably they've looked at property prices and gone, actually, we can make a fortune by selling our house. But there's nothing wrong with people wanting to live in this house as their residential home. And I'm sure someone would actually welcome. It's a beautiful, beautiful house. So if you want to live in this area, this is the best place to possibly live. Okay, it's going to need a lick of paint and carpets cleaning, etc. But on the whole, this is a great purchase. And if they get it at a discount, even better. If a landlord wants to come in and take this property on and rent it out, absolutely fine. Have I made mistakes with the tenants that I've put in? Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure I have and fully admit that. But the reality is I can afford to make these mistakes as a deal packager because I'm set to make £60,000 profit by a mistake. It's not a bad place to be, right? If you don't want to make the same mistake I did, or maybe you do, and you want to make £60,000 net profit before tax, then download our free report.
I wonder if you'd read that before buying it, would you have avoided the mistakes that you made on this one?
Do you know what? It's a great question, George. And the reality is, I probably would have avoided some of those mistakes. So if you want to get educated, there is a free property report which you can access and download today. The link is in the description below. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like,
subscribe to the channel,
and hit the bell.
If you've liked this content and you want to see another one of our videos, watch this one.
I'm Katie Wilson.
I'm George Scott.
We'll see you again soon.